think that's good. How you guys doing? Appreciate you being here. Let me turn my microphone off. I got 1 minute to showtime. I hope I have a moderator in the house that will speak to everybody. And I'm pulling up the chat. I think we're just about there. Takes a few minutes for the chat to come up. I'm on a different PC. My PC died. So I'm using one of my son-in-law's PCs. And I see I have 15 people in the house. And 14 of you hit that thumbs up button. So I certainly appreciate that. And let's see. We have let me go back up to the top. Yeah, my Renaissance grandma. Thank you for being here. Amani Anita Newsom is here. Cassandra South Fulton Garden is here. Miss Kia Parks, my YouTube daughter, is here. We have Mary Grow With Me. Pescatarian Gardener is in the house. Who else? Miss Bobby Wilson is here. Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Tiny Texas Garden is here. James Franklin and 33 Things is here. Garden Master 242, thank you for being here. Fresh Starts. Sandra Living a Full Life. Best Yet Journey. I just got out of her life. What did she call it? Best Yet Journey. I can't remember right now her talk show. I'm going blank. You all check her out. She comes on almost every Monday night. I think about 5 o'clock Central Time. You all can tell me what that time is. Best Yet if you put it in the chat. And one of the moderators, would you please link her YouTube channel here? And Peanut Peppers is here. My friend from Louisiana. Dana Henderson is here. Melissa Brown, thank you so much for being here. Chime Mouse Farm, I watched your video today. And Growing with Hudson is here. And did I get everybody? I think I said Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Mara Spencer is in the house. Dana Kennedy, I said her. And the Whoop Whoop Show. Thank you for reminding me what that was. And Gina versus Gina. I just saw her in the Whoop Whoop Show, Best Yet Journeys channel. And Grandmama Groves, thank you for putting up Best Yet Journeys channel. And Cheryl Faulkner is here. I think I spoke to you in the other live. Yep, I'm sure I did. Because I had to remember how to spell your name. Faulkner. And you spell Cheryl just like I spell mine. Okay, so we're here. Okay, so if everybody would hit that like button, I would certainly appreciate it. You know, it does something to get this video seen by more people. So please do me that favor and hit that like button. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, I want Grandmama Groves to do it for me, put in my email address, and on the same post, put my Cash App. And then when she does that, I will pin it to the top of this chat. Hi, Regina Tyson. Audrey's Living Life is also in the house, speaking to everybody in the chat. Tia Drumroll is here. Drum Gold is here. Lala, Texas 8A, I'm sure that's her gardening zone, is in the house also. Yes, Bria? Hmm? You want to say hi? Hi. Everybody, Bria's saying hi. Okay. All right. You going to leave me alone? Give me some sugar. See you later. That's my gardening buddy. She helps me a lot.
And gardening buddy, too.
Oh, here come Brian. He just came in from karate lessons. He's saying, hi, everybody. Okay. Thank you, guys. They helped me with my seeds. You know, this year I'm trying to make a new promise to myself that I'm going to do more labeling. I journal. I take pictures. I write them on the little cups once I get the seedlings to get its second let its leaves. And then a lot of times I think I have done this so much that I can recognize what the seedlings are, but sometimes I make mistakes. No, a lot of times I make mistakes and I have mystery plants. So, and I always video document everything when I'm putting them in the containers or in the ground. And you guys know that I'm moving the garden part of my food forest at this location, which is my son-in-law and daughter's house. And I'll let everybody know. I'll let Brian and Bria know everybody is speaking to them. Hey, Hoyt Robinson, thank you for being here. And so I've just been watching a lot of videos as much as I can over the summer when I didn't have a lot of things growing in the food forest because it was just extremely too hot and for a lot of things. And so I just made sure that I kept taking care of my fruit trees, watering everything the best I could, and making notes and plans from you guys' videos of how I'm going to try to improve. And that's what we basically all have to strive for, is to get better results year after year. And so one of my downfalls that I don't label enough. And I'm going to confess something else to you all too. When I decided to do my gratitude garden this past summer, you guys know that I grew from seeds that I had saved, seeds that people sent me, and plants that I was able to hang on during the winter in the greenhouse. I made a big mistake. It's really not a mistake. It's something that, well, it's a mistake or something that I should have took into consideration. When I was trying all those different varieties of seeds that people sent me, I didn't plan for extreme temperatures happening. And going forward, that's what I will do. And I didn't select, because most of everything that I grew was, like I said, donated, sent to me, and some very old seeds I had in the freezer. And so what I failed to do was I failed to include some of the heat-tolerant varieties of especially peppers and tomatoes that I do every year because I know they can handle triple-digit temperatures. So if you all, like just offhand, James Franklin, I know, is in the desert. Tiny Texas Garden. I think I'm saying your name right. If you all don't know this, I'm going to give you something you need to write down. It was the tomatoes, and that is Celebrity and Early Girl. I didn't grow them this season, this summer, and I should have had spring and late summer, and I would have had more of a harvest. I had a decent harvest, but half of the fun for me for gardening is giving away my harvest. And because I preserve the majority of my harvest, I don't care about the misshaped tomatoes or the ones that aren't pretty. I give the pretty ones away. And I wasn't able to do that because I didn't have the enormous harvest that I usually have. So, going forward, what I'm saying to you is, if you're going to try a lot of different seeds that you haven't tried before, make sure that you include some of your favorites, some of your old standbys that you know can take hot temperatures. Another thing I didn't do, I didn't grow any California Wonder peppers. They come in a green to red variety and then a green to orange variety. In fact, I didn't grow any jumbo peppers. So that California Wonder is heat tolerant and it's a nice, sweet, large bell pepper. So if you're taking notes or if you're watching this replay days later, remember, plant some of your heat tolerant crops. Okay? All right. And we should all be striving to improve. And if something works, it's not broke, right? So don't try to fix it. And that's what I did wrong. And I'm woman enough to admit it. I should have grown more varieties. Now, the celebrity, if I'm not mistaken, is a hybrid and the early girl. And they were developed years ago. They're almost like a heirloom, but the seed isn't a true seed unless you get it from a reliable source. And so you don't have to worry about it being genetically modified or anything like that. But there are some varieties of tomatoes and peppers and other veggies and fruits that are bred to handle the heat, handle cold, and handle or be less receptive to insect infestation and viruses or mold or mildew. So keep that in mind because that's something I did not do. Okay, I'm going to look at the chat to see if anybody is wanting to comment about what I just talked about. Okay, great. Mike said that he grew the early girl. And in the Texas area in Oklahoma, I know that is one that you can find at the nurseries. Now, I don't know if you all been looking, and I haven't been out to any nurseries physically in stores, but I've been watching your videos, and a lot of these starts are real expensive. I don't know if starts are even out in Texas yet because it was 100 degrees today in Mesquite where I am. It's going to be 101, 102 tomorrow. And then Thursday it's going to start cooling down, and by the weekend we're supposed to get down to the low 90s. And that's the weather that I'm praying for, and that's the weather that I'm looking forward to getting my seeds out. Okay, excuse me guys, I'm in a live. Thank you. So I'm really looking forward to cooler temperatures. So right now in my room at my son-in-law and daughter's house, I have seeds slid up under my dresser, and we being very careful. And that is why I chose to use peat pellets. And let me tell you a little bit about the peat pellets. Go ahead. The peat pellets are compressed. And I've never seen a gnat egg, or I don't even know if that's visible, but gnats multiply on those peat pellets. So that's why I chose to use them for my garden. Guys, excuse me for a minute, okay? I'm sorry, just a minute. Brian and Bria, go upstairs or go to your dad's because I'm on a live. They don't need to hear you. You're being disobedient. Okay, I have to go get my daughter. I'll be right back, guys. Excuse me. Brian and Brady doing everything they can to get in the video, and I keep telling them to stop. Your mother wants you. Okay, guys. My grandchildren are good grandchildren. They're real overactive and very dramatic. And they're doing everything they can to get in the video. Okay, so where was I? Where was I, guys? One of my, oh, thank you, Going with Hudson. She's telling me don't forget to pin it. So I'm going to go back and look for the comment. I'm looking for it. Again, the email address and... Okay, it's going too fast. Okay, Grandmama Groves, I see that you put it separately, but I want it all together. The email address and the... You know what I'm trying to say. I'm looking again to see if you did it. Okay, and I was talking about heat-resistant plants. Okay, great. And the peat pellets. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Grandmama Groves. Grandmama Groves, please put the Cash App and the email address on the same post so that I can pin it. There we go. Thank you, Grandmama Groves. I appreciate you very much. Okay, so now I'm going to pin it. Okay, are you telling me it's not going to let me? It won't let me pin it. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll have to put it in. Give me a minute, guys. I apologize. So obviously it won't let moderators post be pinned. So it'll only let me pin what I post. Okay, there we go. Message pin, and it's all the way up to the top. It should be. Let's go all the way back up to the top. It hasn't done it yet, but it'll kick in because it'll show it in blue. Okay, so we're going to talk about heat-tolerant plants, and somebody else reminded me what else it was. The compressed pellets. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, so the compressed pellets, let me see if I can pin that again because it didn't go. Okay, it went through. So yes, I've never, ever, ever seen the peat pellets have fungus on them. And I've been, using it on and off for a while. I had stopped using them for a few years, and then I started back. Yeah, Grandmama Girl's telling me it's pinned. And I started back using them, and I noticed the difference. And I love the Jiffy seed starting mix. And I add hot water to it to try to kill some of the fungus, but you obviously can't get it all. And I've seen fungus growing on that, on the Jiffy seed starting mix, but never on the peat pellets. I've seen a few people pour boiling water over the peat pellets, and that's okay, but you really don't have to. You can just use room temperature water. I don't recommend using rainwater when you first start the seedlings in the house, because you don't know if whatever system you have for capturing the rainwater, if you have some larvae or baby gnats in it already, unless you use something like the mosquito bits. And I've talked about that a whole lot over the years. And if you're new to my channel and you're not familiar with the mosquito bits, you can get them from most big box stores as well as Amazon Prime. And you can look in my playlist for infestations of gardening pests or something like that, and I have several videos on how you use it. Hey, Barb Brownlee, thank you for being here. Okay, so now, also I want to talk about the peat pellets again. Yeah, And so they're real neat and easy to use. And like I'm saying, I'm using them inside here at this location because I want to keep everything real neat. Because you can see by the background for me, my daughter is OCD and she's really, really organized. And you have to be to have small children and work along hours that she does. And so she keeps a real tidy, organized house. And they have like real light beige carpeting upstairs and wood floors and tile down here, and I didn't want anything to be messy. So those of you that don't like to start seeds inside, maybe for one of those reasons, don't worry about starting with the peat pellets. As long as you're careful and organized, you won't make a mess, okay? And you won't have an infestation of gnats or fungus. So I'm going to keep mine. I know I said in the video I'm subject to change my mind, but I have thought it over. And since we're going to be playing with triple digit temperatures until we consistently get in the low 90s, I'm going to leave them inside. And I pulled one of the trays out to look at them as I was getting ready to come downstairs to come on, and I noticed a few of the collards, mustards, they are sticking up. The leaves haven't emerged from totally from the peat pellet, but in a couple of days they'll be good. And then hopefully all of the triple digit temperatures will have passed us, and then I can just put them right outside. I'm not going to be bringing grow lights and all that over here, okay? So those of you that have been having a really, really rough gardening season, like Tiny Texas Garden, uh, peanut peppers, things that people I can think of at the top of my head, that's something that you may want to try. And I think I just said, hey, Susie, how you doing? Mer- Thank you, Mary. Don't be upset with them beautiful babies. They want to be a star like their grandmama. Oh, that's so sweet. And I just saw somebody said they may have to try to. Okay, that's Tiny Texas Garden. I might need to get some pellets since we are dealing with the heat. Yeah, it's been rough. Don't give up, Tiny Texas Gardener. Because sometimes, we'll get discouraged. I had a difficult time because I kept on starting seeds and just kept watering them and getting root rot. If you don't water them, they dry up. But we're going to have a long season, Tiny Texas Garden. We're going to have. I mean, we don't usually get a freeze or light frost until around December. So we still, not counting August, we got September, October, November, and part of December. So we got a good 3.5, 4 months that we can grow. Maybe toward the end of those 3 months, we might have to put a light frost cloth on our gardens, and then eventually, when it's supposed to drop down below or at 32 or below, then we will need to put the plastic on. But we have a long time, so there's a lot of stuff we still can grow. Okay. Thank you. So Pescatarian Gardener, she put up the video. That's so sweet to tell you about the mosquito bits. And this stuff really, really works. So, and those of you that just have a rain catchment system, or if you live around bodies of water, it's something that you need to do anyway. And it's not expensive, and you don't need a lot of those mosquito bits. And they even have the little donuts, because I started out using them, and then I noticed that the bits went a little bit further because I was actually over putting more of those dunks in as opposed to the bits. And they are all organic. It creates some type of organic fungus that kills and destroys the gnats and the gnat eggs. And if you they can turn into mosquitoes too. It kills those mosquito gnats as well. And so if you have a lot of mosquitoes out in your yard, You can use that anywhere where you have standing water. If you put it in your bird bath, it will not kill birds. So, or if your pets start drinking out of the water containers, it will not harm them. And I mean, it's one of the best things that I've use to control those mosquitoes. Now, real quick, I'm just going to bring to your attention that when I had my last product knowledge class, we talked about, I made actually a cream, shea butter, mango butter, and I went into all of the ingredients that you can add into the butters to make different butters for different reasons, and different essential oils you can add to if somebody's having swelling or pain or gout. But you need to join that perk group if you want to know more about that from me. But I mixed in that class. I mixed therapeutic peppermint oil and eucalyptus oil in a body butter. And that's what I've been putting on myself and my grandchildren, Brian and Bria, when we go out and work at the food forest at my house. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Another thing I want to talk about as far as the mosquitoes are concerned, you guys know that any generic mouthwash, right? Equal parts of mouthwash and water and your essential oils, whether you decide to use lavender, lemongrass, rosemary, I've already mentioned peppermint, eucalyptus, any one of those essential oils, and there are more, and you can Google which essential oils will repel mosquitoes, and you can make your own cream or your own spray. Another thing I want to talk about is the fact that I've seen a lot of people keep saying that they have a lot of flies. And if you didn't know this, you can use equal parts of pine soil, not the generic, it may work, I'm not sure, but the name brand, pine soil. This is an email that I got asking me that question, and water. And where I get one email or 10 emails, I like to pass that information on in case some of you are going to have September is coming up, Labor Day picnic. Some people still having family reunions, depending on when school starts. In Texas, it's real hot, so we have started so we can get out earlier. And so just spray all around your patio area, wipe down your chairs, spray your umbrella, and you won't have all those flies. Okay? All right. Okay, so now, at this time, I'm going to give you my schedule and let you know that nobody has registered for my class on the 21st of August. It's always noon. It's always on a Sunday. It's over Zoom, and it only lasts for 2 hours. And the subject matter is water bath canning and pressure canning. Those of you that sign up for the class, I'll be observing you simultaneously, but when you finish water bath canning, it doesn't take that long to do the class or to do the procedure. You will go ahead on and exit, and the people that are still pressure canning, we will take up the rest of the time. So if you want to attend that class, like I said, let me reiterate, nobody has signed up for it. And so if I don't get that, get people to take the class, then I won't be having it. I will post it again this week on the community board, reminding you that the class is Sunday, August the 21st at noon Central Time. And please contact me this week so I can email you the proper correspondence with everything that you need to allow me to coach you and observe you while you're in the class. And then finally, the next class, and that guy, by the way, if you are in the Eat Your Own group, my personal groups, you attend that class free. And if you are in Make Your Own Products, we are going to go back to the beginning of how you create your brand, establish your federal ID number, how to secure your website, anything that I know about that, I'm going to pass that on. So it'll be like a lecture for the first hour, and then it'll be questions and answers. How to establish your brand, and just briefly, I want to, let you know that you're going to have to consider, you have to have a business plan unless you're doing this for a charity or unless you want to make products just for your family and friends. There's some things that you need to know. And that's going to be the Make Your Own Product class, How to Get Started class. It's going to be August the 28th, and that's going to be at the same time. It's on a Sunday, it's at noon, and it only lasts 2 hours. And so you just need to send me an email, and it's been pinned to the top. I want to attend the class. I'm in the Make Your Own Product group. Or I want to water bath camp with you, and I'll send you everything you need to know. Are there any questions about the 2 classes? Again, I will put a reminder up on the community board this week. And Grandmama Grows is letting you guys know, if you're not a member of the perk clubs, here is the link if you want to join, or you can click on that link, or you can go to the $ on your PC if you're on your PC during this live chat, and you can join there. You cannot cash out me any money for a perk group. That's against the rules and regulations of YouTube, and you must go through them and pay your monthly fee. Okay? Yeah, Tiny Texas Garden of Pine Soil will get rid of the flies. Hey, Gail Hooper, glad you're here. Don't worry about it. Anything that you miss, you can go back and always watch the replay. And Denny's Backyard Garden is here. Thank you so much. And so Garden Master 242 said he's going to look into those essential oils. Yeah. You all know I had a birthday a few months ago. Well, actually, it was last month, July 4th. So I can't remember everything off the top of my head. But, yeah, just Google what essential oils repel mosquitoes, and you'll find them. Okay. All right, so the next thing on my agenda is I want everybody that is a member of my perk groups, if you're in the Grow Your Own Club or the Eat Your Own Club or Make Your Own Products Club, I'd like for you to put in your URL for your YouTube channel if you have one. If you don't have one and you have a TikTok or Instagram or Facebook group, go ahead and put one of those in now. And if you are in one of my perk groups and you happen to be also a moderator, please, all moderators, do the same. Put your channels up right now. And I like to keep them all together. You all don't know how many people email and tell me that's really nice. I like the format. I like the way you conduct your lives. I used to think that people were hiding in the bleachers or the attic because they're here by the count, but they won't hit the like button, so they're watching. And I used to think they were watching, but they didn't want to hit the like button because they don't like my format. But you got to understand, I come from an educational background, management, and I just like to do things decently in order. And so I like to keep my topics about gardening, but I changed the channel. It's going to be gardening and pearls with Lady Cheryl. So it's going to be some life lessons in there as well from time to time. But basically on Monday night, I'm going to try to keep it on gardening and preserving our harvest. And that's what I'm going to talk about after everybody gets a chance to put up their channel. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. I appreciate you. You always support my channel. Sandra living a full life. That's why Mom mopped and cleaned daily with pine. So, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They don't like the smell of it. And they run. And I see Pescatarian Gardener. If you look by her name, she has that blue wrench, means she is a moderator. And then you see she has the pearls for the emoji there. So she's putting up her channel. Grandmama Grows, the same thing. And I've been really encouraging Grandmama Grows because she is just so creative and very knowledgeable. And she had a Instagram page. And I just kept saying, girl, you need to go ahead on and do this YouTube channel. And she's done it. And when I get the notification, I get excited because I know her creativity is spinning and she's going to make that video creative. I can't do all that, but she's really good at it. And Sandra, living a full life, has been a member of Make Your Own Products for 12 months. A whole year, guys. She deserves an applause. Hey, Eat Tis Good in the house. And Brenda Allen telling you all you can contact her on Facebook. And she's in Michigan. And Sifting Some Soil is also in Texas in 9A. Dana Kennedy is in the house. We thank you so much. And Cheryl Faulkner said, I try to follow everyone, but I have to work sometimes. But I watch all reruns if I can't catch her live. Yes, thank you so much. It means a lot. It really means. And I always thank people. I don't know if y'all know this, but I answer every comment, unless it's, somebody just saying something stupid. And you all know, we all get those. All of us that are content creators. I ignore those or delete them. But questions, things like that, I do my best to answer. And Bob Brownlee just listed the water bath and pressure canning class August 21st. And if you want to establish your brand, please, and you're in the Make Your Own Products group, to tune in to my Zoom channel on the 28th. Shoot me an email. I'll send you the link the Wednesday before the class. And if somebody contacts me the day of the class or even the Saturday before the class, I'm too busy. I can't, at the last minute, especially when I'm always announcing it. Dana Kennedy says, my apologies. Who's in Michigan? Because I'm in Michigan. Well, Dana, you're going to have to look at everybody who's posting, okay? And see who's in Michigan or close. Okay. Okay, I think I've given everybody opportunity. Now I'm going to talk about my topic. You all know I prepare. I don't get on here and just talk about anything. I try to think and tie everything in together. Since we're going to be water bath canning and pressure canning, I thought that a good topic will be how you can almost any vegetable without meat. The word is not can, is prepare or preserve without any water bath or pressure canning. And these are all things that you will put into your refrigerator. But if you wanted to water bath some of these things, and I'll just let you know, put you out of your suspenseful mode, it's by pickling them. Pickled onions, pickled beets, pickled carrots, pickled green beans, they call them dilly beans, pickled okra. All of that you can preserve. I'm going to show you how, or tell you how you can preserve them for a month and a half in your refrigerator. But if you want to take them to long-term storage of 18 months or more, and I only say 18 months because after Balls bought out Care, they decided to limit the use of their lids by making the rubber ring around there smaller. And then they said you can safely can for 18 months. But when they had competition, they recommended that you could can a little bit longer. Now, I'm telling you that I have stuff that still can for years. And it's an easy way to test it. Just after it's been canned for a while and it's on your shelf, every now and then, like once a month, go through your pantry, turn everything upside down. If you see anything leaking, then you need to discard that because it's been open. Because it can be clear and still have botulism. So that's the way that you test it. And then when you open it up, and I've done this on camera before in another live a couple of years ago. You'll hear a goosh, a little sound when you open it up, and you know it's good. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of you have opened up a can of I don't know, juice or pasta sauce. I had some kidney stones, and I don't know if you all know this, but I had some kidney stones toward the end of last week, and it's a very excruciating pain. But when you have kidney disease and you know about it as long as I do, you know what it is, so you start drinking a lot of fluids or more than you normally do. And then my brother, who was on dialysis, he used to get them a lot too. And his daughter, I don't know if she called a doctor or whatever, but she found out that tart cherry juice, 100% natural tart cherry juice, will help break up the calcified stones. And I ordered it from Prime Fresh, and they delivered it a couple hours later. And within 24 hours, I had, I believe, broke up or passed those kidney stones. So anyway, the reason why that came to my mind is because when I shook the juice up and then I turned it upside down because it was in a glass jar, and then you hit that little thing, the bottom of it, and then you open up the cap and it goes, and you know it's like a suction noise, and you know it's been sealed properly. So that's what you're going to do with what I'm getting ready to share with you, my easy formula for pickling vegetables. The only thing I want you to promise me is this. If the home preservation website say don't pickle this, I'm asking you not to. I have to say that in this live, that I'm not a scientist. I'm only sharing with you what I've done, and there are a lot of things that the home preservation sites say you can. One being squash, but I know a lot of people can squash. Okay, Homestead Heart comes to mind. I highly recommend her. I'm just saying I don't tell people to can squash because I don't want nobody to sue me, basically. And I've never been sued all those years that I owned salon, and I had a huge one, guys, in the mall. For 9.5, almost 10 years, I've never been sued. Even though I carry insurance with my products, I've never been sued because I don't take chances. People will smile in your face and then backstab you. So that's why I preface everything that I'm saying. If it's not kosher, if it's not approved through balls or the home preservation site, I tell people if you're going to can squash, to peel it, because they say certain varieties like, and hey, Stacy from Hands in the Dirt, and I see Tiny Texas Garden said, oh no, I've heard that kidney stones are extremely painful. Yes, they are. It's worse than labor pains. Okay? So if you're going to can the squash and you're going to pickle it, like I'm getting ready to share with you, the easy recipe that you can use for any of these vegetables that I named. And I think squash is technically a fruit. I was told that it has seeds on the inside, it's a fruit. But I'm not positive, so don't quote me. But this easy recipe, and I'm getting ready to pull it up now. As I made notes, you guys know that I always do that. I study before I come on. And if you're going to, let me start off by saying this. Hold your thoughts or your concerns for a minute, and then let me get through this, and I'll tell you why I'm saying things the way I say it. If you're going to do this to pickle it and leave it in your refrigerator, like refrigerated bread and butter pickles, pickled beets, refrigerated carrots, cabbage, then this is the formula. You're going to add your thinly chopped veggies, and it can be 4 cups. And you're going to add to that 4 cups of white vinegar. If you're a person that like a little sweetness, or you want the way you entice your children or grandchildren to eat these vegetables, to put a little sugar in it, you could put up to 4 tablespoons. If you like salt and you don't have to go, you're not going on a low sodium diet like I have to for a kidney issue, you can do up to 4 tablespoons of salt. Now, I want to be careful about this. You want to use pickling salt. It doesn't have any iodine in it and it's finely grained. Some people always ask me, can you use Himalaya? Can you use kosher? My answer is always yes. But if you want a pretty jar or a pretty bottle, I recommend pickling salt. Okay? Because the iodine, and we need that for our body, but we can get it in other things. And it'll make everything cloudy. I just put up some peppers on the community board, and people complimented me on how pretty and clear they look. And that's because they had just a pinch of pickling salt. Okay? So, equal portions of your veggie and equal portions of the vinegar. And that's 4 cups, 4 cups. It's so easy to remember. Up to 4 tablespoons of sugar, up to 4 tablespoons of salt. Okay? And this will fill up 3 quart jars if you're writing it down. Okay, now check this out. The first thing you should do is to thoroughly wash or peel your veggies. And then you're going to put in your vinegar. And you can put your seasoning or whatever you want to do, as long as it's just salt and sugar. Red pepper flakes, you can do that. You can put a little garlic in there. You can put in 6 sprigs of dill, and that's it. Okay? Now, this is the formula I'm giving you, or the recipe, for refrigeration only. Okay? Now, check this out. If you're going to water bath, and I'm going to stop here and tell you why you have to water bath. Water bath is for long-term storage on things that are acidic. All fruit is acidic, so you don't need to pressure can them. So your pH scale, potential hydrogen, is 0 to 14, right? 7 being neutral. So all of your vegetables on this side of the, fruit on this side of the pH scale, you can water bath can, including your tomatoes, because it's a fruit. But if it's not a real acidic fruit, tomato, then you might want to add a little lemon juice. And you can look this up on Balls or whatever. So we know all of our fruit can be water bath canned, right? The only way you can water bath can veggies if you take them from an alkaline state and add the vinegar to it to make it an acid. Then you can water bath can your dilly beans, your cucumbers, pickled cucumbers, your pickled squash, your pickled okra, your pickled onions. My mother loved those little small pearl onions, and she would water bath can them with a little sugar, a little salt. She had low blood pressure. Isn't that crazy? I wish I had inherited that from her. She had low blood pressure. My father had the high blood pressure and the kidney disease. So, but we can't pick and choose what we get. We get what we get, and we have to work with it. Who is that says that? I think it's Grandmama Grows, heal thyself. I think I saw that on her. We can do it. You can heal yourself. As long as you know what you're dealing with. And by the way, you can't tell because I just took my little Band-Aid off going to the doctor today. And you still have to go to the doctor, and you still have to get your blood levels and all that, your A1C, everything checked. Your kidney function, creatinine levels. But you can do some things to help yourself. So I'm not telling anybody to get off of medicine. I'm just saying, look up whatever it is you've inherited from your parents or your grandparents, because sometimes it can skip a generation. And eat to live. It makes a big difference. So now let's get back to this. I gave you the refrigerator version. Now I'm giving you the one that you can eat. This is the deal. You're going to use the same recipe, except you're going to use 2 parts distilled water, not water out of the tap because it has chemicals in it, distilled water, and 2 cups of vinegar. It's real easy. Refrigerated kind, no water, just the vinegar. And that's why you add the sugar, so it masks some of the pickly taste if it's too strong. So for the canning procedure, the water bath canning, same recipe, except it's equal parts of water and vinegar. 2 cups and 2 cups. I simplified it for you. And you can add all your other little garlic, onions, dill, red pepper flakes, whatever you guys decide. I'm going back to the chat so I can see if I made that simple enough for everybody to get it. Looking for the live stream. Give me a minute, guys. Okay. Okay, I gotta recognize Yankee's sister. She's been a member. What happened to it? Just that quick. Oh, there we go. Of the Grow Your Own Club for 12 months. Let's give her an applause, everybody. Hey, C. Thomas, thank you for being here. Okay, I'm just making sure everybody got all the information about the pickles. Pickled vegetables. And you can pickle some fruit. Have anybody ever had pickled peaches? It tastes good. So those of you that, I may do a video, Saturday, Bria and I harvested all of our pears because I'm not there every day. And the squirrels, I don't know, they've been watching the house, guys, because they must know I'm not there, and they be coming out at night and eating up my pears. I said, you ain't going to get all of these. You ain't had enough. And so they're small, but I don't think they're going to get any larger because of the heat. Slow down the process. I've talked about this in several videos, and I have a nice little basket full, and I am going to pickle them. I'm going to pickle them. So if you all have had that issue with the 65, 66 days of triple digit temperatures, 109, 105, 106, and the stunning growth of your fruit, what I just said, you don't have to pickle them, but you can water bath can them, and you can add sugar if you need to. And another thing I want to tell you about the brine. You want to heat up your pack. This is the one that you're going to water bath can. You want to pack your vegetables real tight. And I mean really get them down in there. Because once you pour the brine, the 4 cups, which is 2 cups water, 2 cups white vinegar, and whatever you're going to put in there, you want to heat that up, bring it to a boil, and then you're going to pour it over your veggies. And then, of course, follow the regular procedure for water bath canning. And you're going to have to look up how many minutes to water bath can whatever it is you're water bath canning. Hey, B. Washington, thank you for being here. Well understood. Very good. I dug a heaping bushel of Yukon Gold potatoes today. Okay, Gail, I'm happy for you. That's a wisdom. Thank you, Suzanne Hammond, 66. Yeah, Grandmama grows. If you get some peaches that, let's say you live in an area where you have possums or beavers, and they come in ashore or coming up on your area at night, and they're eating all your fruit, and you need to go ahead and do what you got to do to get some. You can go ahead and pickle them, or you can just go ahead and put sugar in them and no vinegar and water bath in them. Hey, Bandit with Arthur Butler. Thank you for being here. Okay, so yeah, try to pickle peaches. I'm going to do pickled pears. But I'm going to put a little sugar in it. These aren't going to be for me. This is going to be for Brian and Maria and my other grandchildren. Okay. You're welcome, Miss B. Washington. Okay, and Lorraine T is here. Hey, how you doing? Odom's homestead is in the house. Never had picked or pickled fruit. Oh, yeah. So if you get something that's green, let's say you decide to do fall tomatoes, and then you find out it's getting ready to be a freeze, and you don't have a greenhouse, and you have no way of protecting your plant, go ahead and harvest those green tomatoes. Pickle them. They're delicious. There are a lot of things that you can pickle. And Gail Hopper says she loves pickled peaches. Yeah, you'll be surprised. Take that pickled peach and cook something like, I don't know, steak or whatever, I don't know, and put that on the side and give it a little twang to your dinner. Okay. And Yankee Sister's in the house. I don't know if I said hello to you. Okay, so if there are any questions about anything that I've gone over about pickling or water bath canning fruits, and if you pickle vegetables, let me know those questions at this time. And then I'll get to any questions that you may have. Okay? It's getting close to 8 o'clock. And you know, I promised you guys I wouldn't be over here long. I have been having to give cherry tomatoes away at work. I've had too many. Well, that's a blessing. Because, Denise, half of the fun of growing for me is giving food away. Bambit with Arthur Butler said, true, our ancestors pickled all the fruit. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They pickled it or they boiled it down and made jelly and jams and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so Yankee's sister says she's going to catch the replay. We thank you. And Mike said he likes the pears crunchy. I bet they are good too. I do too. I like them crunchy, and that's why I like the Kefir pear. It's a firm pear, and it's one that preserves very well. Okay, somebody is saying, sounds good, Grandmama Grows. So what is she? Oh, she's talking about the pickled peaches. Okay, great. You're welcome. Okay, all right. Okay, now I'm opening the floor up for any questions. Thank you, Grandmama Grows. You are so on it. Oh, and your mimosa tree is growing like a weed, Odoms. Hey, you remember I told you I had two? So, you know, I'm moving my garden part of my food forest, and I'm so glad I've got a little mimosa tree that's growing like crazy in the greenhouse, and I'm going to bring it over here. And also, while you all are putting your questions in, all caps, please, I want you all to know that I'm going to be air layering the fig trees, some of the citrus trees. I'm going to have a lot of fun and bring them in small containers or bring them over here. Oh, David Corey said he's cutting down a tree. So he can't speak to everybody. So everybody, we show David some love. He can come back and watch it later. Fresh Stars, I make apple sauce. I never pickle the apples, but I imagine you can. I'm sure you can. That's not a silly question. Can you pickle apples? No. What I do is I make apple butter or applesauce. I even made juju beet butter last year. I love pear preserves. Yes, Bambit with Arthur Butler. Yes. And Mike is saying he had pickled apple before. I can imagine apple and pork chops. Somehow that just sounds good to me. Do you like pear preserves? Yes, I think I already answered that. I love it. Love all types of preserves. But I use stevia. I can't do the sugar. Okay, here we go. Recipe. Wow. Thank you so much, Bar Brownlee. 4 thinly chopped cups of chopped vegetables, 4 white vinegar, 4 teaspoons of sugar, optional, 4 teaspoons of salt, filled 3-quart jars. That's right. And the only thing different about when you're going to can them is to do 2 cups water, 2 cups vinegar, and boil it with your spices and stuff and pour it over your jars and then pressure can them. How long can they keep? A month and a half to 2 months in the refrigerator, 18 months if you water bath can. Okay, here we go. How long can I keep seeds before planting them? Are my seeds ruined if I don't keep them in refrigerator? No, they're not going to be ruined, but you're going to have a low germination rate. I freeze my seeds. I froze some for 10 years. And I grew them. And I kept telling you all they were patty pan squash because that's what I put on the label, but they were actually scallop squash. And I mean, I got a lot of squash. I didn't can them. I scrubbed them real good, and I blanched them in boiling water. You know, I have one of those things that you can lift out, and then I plunged them into the sink with ice water, and I froze them. And they take on squash cooked by itself, like you stir fry or whatever. Tastes like squash, and you do onions or whatever. But squash in soup, in my opinion, it's like cauliflower. It'll take on the flavor of the mingled flavors of the stew. Your onion, your garlic, your ground turkey is basically what I use. It takes on the flavor of that. And Stacy from Hands in the Dirt saying he has some pear preserves sitting on the table right now from what his auntie made. That's a blessing. That's a lot of love you put into that. Can rainwater be used instead? No. No, because you got chemicals in the air. Depending on where you live, C. Thomas, I would not use rainwater. Distilled water is best. I know it's not a money thing, but it only costs like 99 cents for distilled water. And that's what I use in my products. And speaking of products, don't forget the hand lotion is still on sale. If somebody would put up my website, that link to the hand lotion would be good. Okay, my altitude is less than 10 miles. Do I use a 5-pound weight no matter what I process? I don't know what 10 miles, what do you mean by that, Goddess? And you're talking about pressure canning. That is not on the agenda for today, but I don't mind answering your questions. Go to the food preservation site or look up at Halls or Google it. I don't know about miles in altitude. But I know you can put in where you live and it'll tell you. It says it's less than 10 miles. Do I use a 5-pound weight no matter what I process? Well, the answer to that question would be no, because no matter what you process, don't need to be pressure canned, and you don't put a weight on water bath candy. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm just saying I'm not getting the question. No matter what I process, you don't even have to concern yourself with weight. With water bath canning, that's what we're talking about. But if you're asking me for pressure canning, I don't even think there is a 5-pound weight. I may be wrong. I'm only familiar with the canners that I have used. Okay? But that's a question that you would check the manufacturer of your book. And if you, Armani, if you can't find the answer, email me where you live and put pressure canning question in the subject line so I'll be looking for you, okay? And then and tell me, Miss Cheryl, you told me to email you. My cannery is blah, 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 blah. I live in blah, blah, blah. And I'll find the answer for you, email you, sweetie. Okay? And Meryl Spencer said she loves preserves, have not had any for years. My mama made the best. I'm telling you, and when you, Bambit is asking Arthur Butler. Oh, Bambi with Alpha Butter is asking Stacy. Go to Stacy's YouTube channel. I'm sure he has his email address in his channel, Miss Bambi. That's how we do it. The protocol we do here. We don't put other sites' email addresses up except mine. And that's not meant to embarrass you. Just go click on his channel and look in there, and you'll be able to contact him. Okay, so Bambi says he has 4 pear trees, a lot of preserves, some from last year. How do I give away pears without taking them to people younger than you? You can donate at a senior citizen facility. You can donate at a church. Um, you can donate it, well, maybe younger than you, at a school. They have a liaison to the community at every school because they're underprivileged kids that would love to have those fresh vegetables. You know, teachers are in my family. My son's a teacher and a coach, and my daughter is a assistant principal, and my daughter-in-law is a lead coach, coach teacher at another school. And they have community liaisons that donate a lot of stuff, whether it is backpack supplies, food, fruit, whatever. Okay? And Barb, thank you so much. She's got the same thing about the water canning tip for your pickled vegetables. And she's got it in here, guys. 2 cups of distilled water, 2 cups of white vinegar. She just said vinegar, and you can use apple cider vinegar, but I use white everything. Bring it to a boil, make it a brine, pack the jars, put the lid on it, and water bath process it. My bad for the pressure canning question. I told you you didn't have to. I looked up my altitude and it is 7 miles. Our charts show for high altitudes. Many thanks. I really don't understand your answer. My bad for pressure canning question. I looked up my altitude and it's 7 miles. All charts show info for high altitude. So I don't know if you're saying your altitude is higher or lower than the standard amount of weight that you need to apply. Okay, Jenny, have a good week here. And thank you, Grandmama Groves. I love it. Put that, because I always keep messing that up. I keep saying it, the visit of the National Center for Home Preservation. It's the National Center. That is a good one, guys. You don't, anything that you want to pressure can, meat, all of that. And we didn't get into that tonight, but everything is on that site. Anything that they say don't pressure can, I don't pressure can. I know a lot of people pressure can rice. I don't. If I want to add rice, which I can't, I don't eat it now because I'm pre-diabetic, have been for 13 years, no medication. Because I don't eat that kind of stuff. But if I was going to make a soup or something and it needed to have rice, I would cook the rice while I'm warming up the soup. And then I would add it in there later. Okay, so I think we're all just speaking to everybody. And people are saying good night. And you guys know I'm getting ready to say good night too. If there aren't any more questions, and good. She put the website for the balls, jars, and canning. And one day I'm going to pull out my books once I get my library moved over here. And I'll show you all the books and stuff that I recommend. Yes, I'm with you on that. Do you have a video on preserving with stevia? I probably do. I can't think off the top of my head. But I told you guys, do not use monk fruit when you're making like applesauce or jelly because it'll crystallize. I don't like the texture it gives. I use stevia. You can just Google stevia and find out what ratio that you need to use for stevia. But I think it's sweeter than sugar. But I just add a little bit. I kind of improvise on the recipes. Thank you, Pescatarian Gardener. If you all are getting ready to leave, don't forget to hit that like button before you get out of here. I appreciate you all very much. And I think I'm going to say good night. Good night, Dana. Kennedy, good night. Okay, here's one. Good evening, Lady Cheryl. Do you also ferment vegetables and fruit? If so, which one is better? Thank you. They always say fermenting is good or is the best. Fermenting vegetables like the only ones that I have, only thing I have, and I could say ones that I have fermented is cabbage for sauerkraut. But you got to use a lot of salt to pour the water out and a part of the fermenting process. So I haven't done it in about 5 years. Okay? but I will pickle it and refrigerate it. Good night, G Mama. Thank you so much. Wonderful moderator. Good night, Marion Owens. Good night, Tony Jackson. And if I'm saying good night and I haven't spoken to you all, you came in late and I just didn't catch it. Good night, Regina Taylor. Tyson. Good night, Odom's Homestead. Good night, Angela Walton. Good night, Stacy from Hands in the Dirt. Pescatarian Gardener, I think I mentioned you. Grandmama Grows, Growing with Hudson. Good night, Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Good night. He's speaking to Miss Shirley, so I didn't see her. Oh, there she is. Hey, Miss Shirley. Thank you, Miss Shirley, OG Gardener. Thank you for being here. Okay, guys, have a wonderful week. You all know I've been moving. I'm getting everything together, and as soon as I get my boxes moved over here, I'll make another video and show you how I'm going to set everything up. You know I love you, and God loves you too, and I'll see you next week. Same time, same station.